Welcome to my very first challenge with one of my all-time favorite Pokemons within Misdreavus. So starting off with this challenge, let's hop into the rules. First, we can't use active items in battle, held items are allowed, and only Misdreavus can be used aside from HM Pokemon. Misdreavus has a decent learn set, especially with Astonish, Confuse Ray, Psybeam, and Shadow Ball. However, we'll run into some issues with Psywave in the beginning of the game due to its extremely inaccurate damage. We start off by choosing our gender, and for this Pokemon game, we always choose the female character. And for our name, we choose the name Toka. If any of y'all know where Toka's from, please let me know in the comment section below. From there, we choose our starter, and with our starter, we use the Pokemon Universal Randomizer, and we replace Cyndaquil with Misdreavus. This is because Totodile will make for the hardest rival Pokemon, as it can learn both Bite and Crunch. We name our Misdreavus Yami. We then see that Misdreavus is thankfully a female, which is going to play an important role later on. We also see her beginning moves. She starts with Growl, Psywave, and Spite, with the ability Levitate, meaning she can't be hit by earthquakes. We additionally see she has a naive nature, meaning increased speed and lowered special defense, which is perfectly fine with me. We then meet Professor Oak and Mr. Pokemon and receive our Pokedex. Our rival then stops us and proceeds to battle us, and we simply spam Psywave since Totodile has nothing other than normal types to attack us with, and therefore we take no damage and get a very, very easy first victory. We then proceed to name our red-hair rival Shiggy after Shigaraki because Shigaraki could not fit in the text, so we'll go with his nickname instead. We then receive a phone call from our mother, and she's telling us to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content of this kind. We then enter Bellsprout Tower, and in Bellsprout Tower, we receive a move that does a world of difference, Astonish. Astonish now gives us consistent damage, and it has a ghost typing, which makes it a whole of a lot easier for us than using Psywave. We eventually make it to the first gym and fight against Falkner. Falkner just has 2 Pokemon, so it should be pretty easy. However, Astonish won't be effective versus them. So instead, this entire fight, we have to spam Psywave. It's a pretty easy victory along with the use of Confuse Ray. So honestly, at no point throughout this fight were we even threatened or had to consider at all having to do a reset. The first badge is now ours. After Falkner's gym, we proceed to go to Slowpoke Well to help out an old man, and instead we end up fighting an executive named Proton. Kind of a lot for a young girl to take care of, but we get it done. His team is a pretty easy sweep going down with Astonish, and it makes for a super easy battle. I really hope all battles aren't this easy, but I guess we'll have to find out. We then enter the second gym that specializes in bug-type Pokemon. This shouldn't be too much of a challenge for our little Misdreavus given how strong she is. And we proceed to do the spider puzzle by taking a ride on various spiders to reach the destination that I don't seem too good at doing despite having played this game hundreds and hundreds of times growing up. We sweep through the gym trainers with ease, spamming Astonish. These bugs don't stand a chance. Finally, after taking many incorrect paths and rides on the spiders, we finally reach Bugsy. Bugsy leads with his Scyther, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, and we open with Confuse Ray. Confuse Ray is a hugely underrated move and super annoying to play against. Confuse Ray will really make it hard for Scyther to build up any Fury Cutters. We try to use Psywave, but due to its 80% accuracy, we miss it over and over again. If you're familiar with Pokemon, we know that an 80% accuracy move is more so a 20% accuracy move instead. His other 2 Pokemon are super weak and go down with remote ease. After spamming a few more Astonishes, and a few Psywaves that finally do hit, we claim our second badge. After defeating Bugsy, we are again pounced by our rival, Shiggy. And Shiggy pulls up with us, and now he actually has a problem on his team. But we'll get to him later. Firstly, Ghastly goes down easily to Astonish. The next Pokemon, though, is scary, Croconaw. Croconaw now has Bite, and dark moves are super effective against our little Misdreavus. In fact, I actually wiped to his Croconaw 2 or 3 times in a row because I wasn't able to tank enough of his bites, and Confuse Ray didn't give us enough support. However, after Croconaw goes down, it's an easy victory after that, wiping out the Zubat with Astonish. After our intense battle with our rival, we learn something new. When Yami turns level 23, she learns Psybeam, finally an accurate psychic move. We then chase a little bird around the forest, all before getting cut. However, this bird seems to outsmart us once again, similarly to the maze within Bugsy's gym. After reaching Goldenrod City, we decided to take a quiz next to a pink-haired lady. In fact, we were actually able to get this quiz on the first try. I know you may not believe me given our history with the maze and the Farfetch'd, but I assure you we got it done, allowing us to enter the third gym. We then enter the third gym, and we run around aimlessly, sweeping a few trainers all before reaching Whitney, the fated Whitney. We finally find her, the pink-haired lady, the woman with a milk tank that has struck fear into the heart of many generations of Pokemon players. However, she leads with Clefairy, and Clefairy is not that strong, thankfully, and her metronome doesn't affect us. She goes down super easy to Psybeam. Then comes out her milk tank. Then again, we use the Confuse Ray strategy we used during Bugsy, and however, she uses a Lumberry to snap us out of it. She was able to stomp us, which I'm not really quite sure how she's able to do given we're a Ghost type, but we proceed to Psybeam her. And in fact, just within 2 Psybeams, she goes down, but don't forget, I used an Astonish, even though I couldn't like a fool. The third badge complete. We then really anger a tree, and we kill this tree fast. Next thing you know, we're in the Burn Tower visiting and paying our respects when Shigaraki shows up again. What the hell is he doing here? Shigaraki has added a Pokemon to his team. He now has 4, but he opens with his Ghastly, and Ghastly goes down fast against our Psybeam. He doesn't stand a chance. Next, Croconaws up, and Croconaw, despite having Bite, we aren't that fearful. He uses Scary Face instead, though, like an idiot, and then kills himself in confusion. His next Pokemon is Zubat. Zubat goes down to a Psybeam as well. This move, I'm telling you guys, was a game changer. The next was a Magnemite, and although not super effective the Psybeam was, it goes down handily. After defeating that idiot, we run downstairs and we get to see some doggies. Roof, roof. We then enter the Arukatique City Gym, and this gym specializes in Ghost types. However, they're pretty foolish to think they would ever stand a chance versus our Ghost type, the Ghost type Misdreavus. We finally make it to the gym leader Morty, and I'll admit I underestimated him, or should I say, his Gengar. We make quick work of his first 2 team members given they're just a Ghastly and a Haunter, and I thought his ace Gengar would go down just as easily, but nope. Thanks to a berry that saved him from low health, along with the critical Shadow Ball, we have our first death of the run. However, we try again, and this time with much better luck. The strategy goes the same. Spam Psybeam. Again, spam Psybeam on Haunter. And to our surprise, our gym leader Morty makes a grave mistake. He uses Mean Look on us. Why would he use Mean Look when we're the only Pokemon in the team? Hey, I guess I'm not the gym leader after all, but here we go. And then Haunter is his last Pokemon, and we take him down with ease, claiming our 4th badge. We are the Ghost Trainer. Upon defeating Morty, we're given the TM for Shadow Ball, and we use Shadow Ball on Yami, and we replace the move Astonish. We then take a detour to the Golden City Rod department store where we pick up Thunder, which will be extremely useful later on. We then help the Kimono girls by defeating a very weak Grunt, and after defeating this Grunt, we pick up the HM for Surf. We then stop at the lighthouse and find out that Ampharos is sick, so we head to Cianwood City to get a potion to heal him. We then enter the 5th gym while we're in Cianwood City, and this gym specializes in fighting type Pokemon. However, we have a Psychic move within Psybeam, which will make this gym a piece of cake. After sweeping through the majority of the trainers, we find an old man whose water is no longer on his head, and for whatever reason, that wakes him up. I feel like I'd sleep better if I had no water on my head, but to each their own. The gym trainer opens with Primeape, and Primeape goes down pretty easily to some Psybeams given he doesn't have any moves that can really hurt us. However, the trouble lies within his Poliwrath. His Poliwrath knows Hypnosis, and while we're hypnotized, he can spam Surf on us, getting us to yellow health. In fact, 2 Psybeams don't kill him, and he gets us to red health. However, with the 3rd Psybeam, we win and obtain the Storm Badge. We then walk outside and see a dog. Hi, dog. We then head back to the lighthouse, and we give Ampharos his medicine, and Jasmine returns to the gym. We then enter the gym and go straight to Jasmine, and I thought this fight would be pretty easy. However, due to the level curves within Heartgold and Soul Silver, this gym is usually pretty hard, despite me being slightly over-leveled at level 39. He opens with his Magnemite, and Magnemite immediately Thunderwaves us, which is super annoying, and proceeds to spam Thunderbolt. We then Shadow Ball him, and he dies. However, we're already at 71 health with Paralysis, and we get again Thunderbolted. We're now in yellow health. This is not looking good, and we die at 39 on this attempt. We then come back at level 43 after a few more failed attempts, and it's more or less the same story. Again, a Thunder Wave happens. However, this time we have a Cherry Berry to cure our paralysis. And Magnemite goes down while not losing any health. This is starting off pretty good. We again Shadow Ball the second Magnemite, and we're again Thunder Waved. I really hate paralysis personally, and we get the paralysis hacks on us, and we cannot move. Suddenly, this run doesn't look very good. He still has a Steelix to send out, and Steelix comes out. Jasmine's Steelix is notoriously pretty difficult too, and we die. We then come back at level 46. We've had to level a ton since the first attempt, and it's the same old story. Look, it starts off with a paralysis and our Cherry Berry heals us. However, we're in full health yet again, just like our attempt at level 43. Again, we Shadow Ball the Magnemite, only to get hit by another Thunder Wave. This is really annoying. Jasmine, however, uses her Hyper Potion though, which is good for later on, and he misses his Supersonic, and we avoid the paralysis hacks. Then comes out the Steelix. We're at full health for the Steelix, and we're paralysis hacks, but however, he misses his first move. We then use our strategy whenever we're in doubt, and we use Confuse Ray. Steelix sets up a Sandstorm, and we Shadow Ball, and although Shadow Ball isn't effective, it still chunks it for half his health. We again send another Shadow Ball out, and he heals up with his Citrus Berry when he got low health. Again, we use Shadow Ball, and believe it or not, we gain the 6th gym badge finally after all these attempts. We then stumble upon a shiny Pokemon, the first one of our challenge attempt. Believe it or not, it's a red Gyarados. With this red Gyarados, however, we decide to kill it. Remember, we're only using Misdreavus in this run. We then encounter our boy Lance, and Lance Hyper Beams a brother. Then we go downstairs, and we start to invade the Team Rocket hideout. We encounter an executive from Team Rocket, and he goes down pretty easily. In fact, most of Team Rocket's Pokemon are super weak to our Psybeam. He starts off with a Zubat that goes down super easily, as does the rest of his team. However, the challenge we're about to face doesn't lie within any of the executives here or any of the trainers. It in fact lies in the issue of chasing around this bird, Murkrow. As we already know, I suck at that. We then get pulled up on by a bunch of Team Rocket grunts. However, thankfully, our boy Lance is with us. I kind of have a qualm with Lance though. This was in fact the only Pokemon battle I've been a part of where my main Pokemon was a higher level than his Dragonite. How is it fair that his Dragonite gets to evolve at level 40, meanwhile the rest of us bums have to wait around till 55? After defeating all those grunts, we then teach our Misdreavus Yami. We teach her Thunder, and Thunder is going to be the MVP of this gym, and at oftentimes the Elite Four. We then enter the 7th gym, and the 7th gym doesn't really pose us too many threats, besides for the puzzle of course. However, I'm pretty good at these ice cubes. Most of their Pokemon are pretty weak to our Thunder or our Shadow Ball, so it makes this gym and its trainers a pretty easy sweep. Eventually we make it to the gym leader Price, and Price has 3 Pokemon. They're all pretty bulky. However, he opens up with a Seal, and Seal goes down really easily to our Thunder. In fact, he's one-shotted. However, his second Pokemon, Piloswine, I was a little bit more fearful for. However, given how bulky he is, he survives one of my first Shadow Balls and sets up a Hail. After a Hail, we again hit him with a Shadow Ball and he goes down. I'm not really sure why he didn't full restore or use a Hyper Potion, but we'll take it. Lastly is his Dugong, and Dugong, like its predecessor, goes down easily with 1 Thunder, thus obtaining us the 7th gym badge. After obtaining the 7th gym badge, we can't go straight to the 8th. In fact, we have to go pick up this super cool uniform. And while we have this uniform, we run around Goldenrod City and cause a bunch of havoc. However, as we're causing all this havoc, we're stopped by our rival. Believe it or not, Shigaraki has indeed exposed us, and as a result, we lose our really cool uniform. After raiding through Goldenrod, we find the director who we thought was our buddy, but in fact, he was being disguised as, and that pisses us off. So in turn, what we do is we sweep through his team with Shadow Ball and Psybeam nonstop, thus obtaining us the basement key. I don't understand how this guy got away with it. Why could he keep his uniform but not me? Guys, I seriously don't get it. Why couldn't I have that uniform? After getting the basement key, believe it or not, we go to the basement, and guess what we find? Shigaraki, the man who exposed us for our uniform. We lost our uniform because of this guy. We start off in versus Golbat, we use Psybeam, and Golbat goes down instantly. Serves you right. Next he has a Sneasel, and Sneasel actually poses more of a threat than I thought. She's dual type, Dark and Ice. However, she uses a priority move within her Icy Wind, and it just drops our speed a whole ton, and she uses Feint Attack on us, dropping us a little bit. However, we're not too scared. Next is Haunter, and with Haunter we use Thunder. I'm not sure why I use Thunder because it easily could have missed, but I use it just for the lulz. But however, Karma gets us and Thunder does miss on Feraligatr, landing us some damage. But the second Thunder lands and one-shots it. Last is a completely weak Magnemite that goes down to one Shadow Ball. Thus we defeat Shigaraki. Suck it. Eventually reach the top of the tower and we run into Archer. Hey Archer. Archer's a little bit scary. He has two Pokemon that pose a really big threat to us. He opens with his Houndour, who is completely underleveled in comparison to our beautiful Yami. However, we still have stuff to fear. Bite and Crunch are both super scary moves. After his Houndour comes out, next comes his Houndoom. Houndoom we're a little bit fearful for. I fear one of his hits could really do a lot of damage to us, so instead I open with a Confuse Ray rather than just trying to brute force it. And of course he hits himself in Confusion. Next he hits himself in Confusion again and we Shadow Ball him again, completely avoiding any damage he has. Lastly is a Coughing. This Coughing stands no chance versus our Misdreavus and goes down with a single Psy Beam. After defeating Archer, we continue going east so we can eventually reach Blackthorn City, but first we stop in this really cool icy cave, and in this icy cave we slide around a whole bunch. It's really fun. After escaping this cave due to pushing an old woman, we eventually reach Blackthorn City and enter the gym. This gym specializes in Dragon-type Pokemon, but they don't really pose any immediate threat to us besides Paralysis Hacks. This should be easy. We eventually reach Claire, one of the coolest looking Pokemon trainers in the entire series and franchise of Pokemon. Being a Dragon-type trainer is already really cool, but look at her hair and her outfit. She leads with a Gyarados, which is usually super strong, and we could fear it a lot if it had Bite. But it in fact probably does have Bite, but it just doesn't outspeed us. Next up is a Dragonair, and Dragonair goes down easily with a Shadow Ball. Her next Pokemon, believe it or not, is another Dragonair, and I know what she aims to do. She wants to have Paralysis Hacks on us so we can't do a thing, but thanks to our really fast speed and special attack, she goes down. Last is her ace, Kingdra, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. However, Kingdra should easily go down to a few Thunders. In fact, he gets Paralysis Hacked. This is really good to see, as we've been Paralysis Hacked by her many times in the past, and she goes down, thus obtaining us the 8th Gym Badge. After saving the Kimono Girls, they grant us the Rainbow Wing, thus allowing us to face Ho-Oh, the legendary bird, one of the saviors of many Pokemon. However, we don't share the same sentiment to Ho-Oh. In fact, what we aim to do is defeat him, and in fact, Ho-Oh goes down in 2 Thunders. I'm sorry, buddy. We're more fan of the dogs of this series. After taking our first steps into Kanto, we realize we need Waterfall, so we use a Master Ball on a Goldie. From there, after trudging through, we make it to Victory Road, finally, and we push around a bunch of rocks. Before we leave Victory Road, guess who pulls up on us? Yes, you guessed right, it's our rival once again. And our rival this time has a much more complete team. Shigaraki opens up, and he opens up with Sneasel, and of course I use a move that doesn't affect Sneasel because I don't learn my lesson. Hopefully, this doesn't punish us too badly. We start to use Shadow Ball on him, and he uses Icy Wind on us, lowering our speed, one of our biggest attributes for Misdreavus. Secondly comes his Haunter. Haunter doesn't stand a chance versus us as we Psybeam him down. I'm kind of curious why he doesn't get a Gengar in this, as it would make the rival battle harder, but alas. Feraligatr thankfully gets hit by the Thunder, as Thunder is somewhat of an inaccurate move, and he goes down. Next, he has Golbat, and Golbat gets completely killed by a Psybeam. His team can be kind of swept by just our type of Pokemon, in fact, besides for the Magneton. The Magneton, of course, resists Shadow Ball, but still goes down with 2 Shadow Balls. However, he does hit us with some Paralysis Hacks. As y'all know, I strongly dislike Paralysis in this game series, but thankfully, it doesn't punish us too heavily. Last is the Kadabra, and Kadabra as well, we have nothing to fear. Kadabra goes down to an easy Shadow Ball and faints. Finally, Shigaraki, you get what's coming to you. Next, we take a glance at Yami one last time. She's level 64, she knows Psybeam, Thunder, Confuse Ray, and Shadow Ball. Let's get it Elite Four. Starting off in the Elite Four, we face Will, the Psychic Trainer. And his team really doesn't stand a chance versus us. He opens with Xatu, and Xatu goes down super easily to a Shadow Ball. His next Pokemon, again, is a Xatu, who goes down easily to Shadow Ball once again, followed by his Jinx, who's also bodied by a Shadow Ball. Are we noticing some type of theme here? I'm not really sure. Again, a Shadow Ball to his Executor, and he goes down. Lastly is his Slowbro, and we're prepared. I use a Shadow Ball even though I could have gone for a Thunder. I just didn't want to risk the accuracy chance. Next we have the Poison Trainer Koga, and we're not too scared of her because we have a Psychic type move. She opens with Ariados, and Ariados goes down to a Psybeam with ease. Her next Pokemon is Muck, and as we know, Muck is super weak to Psybeam, as we've seen Muck a ton while facing Team Rocket. After Muck goes down, his next Pokemon is Crobat. Crobat, again, despite having a ton of speed, can't outspeed us due to our level advantage and Misdreavus having a really high natural base speed. Next, he goes down to another Psybeam. He was more tanky than I thought. Next is the Venomoth, and Venomoth, the little bug, goes down really easily to a Psybeam. His last Pokemon, Fortress, is super tanky due to his steel typing, and he tries to kind of wall us with spamming Protect. However, this isn't enough to kill us or stop us remotely. Maybe if he had Toxic and can Toxic Stall us, maybe that would be a lot more of an issue. However, he goes down after several more Shadow Balls. Next up in the Elite Four is the Fighting Trainer Bruno, and Bruno really doesn't pose any threat to us whatsoever, in fact, because Psybeam is effective towards all his Pokemon. His Hitmontop leads and tries to kill us with a Dig, but goes down extremely easily. Next is his Hitmonlee, probably his scariest Pokemon, as he swaggers us and gets us with Confuse Hacks, followed by a Blaze Kick, but he goes down after a second Psybeam. Next is Hitmonchan, with not nearly enough tankiness, as he goes down as well. Next is his Onix. I'm not sure why he had an Onix, I feel like he could have had a Primeape, but to each their own. Next, Machop, his ace. He goes down easily with 2 Psybeams, leaving us with the victory with red health. Next Pokemon trainer we face is Karen the Dark-type trainer. This was the biggest threat to us by far in the Elite Four thus far, given that Dark is super effective versus us. He leads with an Umbreon, and everything seems to be going well. However, the Murkrow is fantastic, and we continually miss our Thunders 3 times in a row, thus giving us a death. After dying, we reset again with the same strategy. Firstly, we're going to start off by thundering the Umbreon, which works out pretty well, although he sets up a double team, and as we know, double team is extremely difficult to face, especially with a low accuracy move such as Thunder. However, the second Thunder hits and goes down. Next is the Murkrow, and with this Murkrow we start to Confuse Ray it, given how much damage it did to us last time. And unfortunately, Murkrow uses Pluck on us and takes our berry. However, it goes down very easily to a Thunder. Next on the team is one of the biggest threats that we've seen thus far within Houndoom, and he sets up a nasty plot, which is absolutely horrific for us given he can sweep us. Thankfully though, he gets paralyzed, and Paralyze Hacks gets him. Next he goes down to another Thunder, thankfully saving us this part of the run. Next is his Gengar, however Gengar does not outspeed our Misdreavus, and lastly she brings out a Vileplume, which goes down with ease. We Psybeam Vileplume, getting her to red health, and she Stun Spores us, hoping to get us in Paralysis Hacks, but she doesn't really have a lot of kill pressure on us remotely, so we Psybeam again, and once more, we Psybeam. However, she uses a full Restore, but this Psybeam this time hits a crit, and she goes down. We finally make it to the champion, and guys, I cannot describe how difficult this battle was for me. I probably had to reset 30 to 40 times, but this is one of the beginning attempts I had before developing my new strategy. His first 3 Pokemon, if all of our Thunders hit, go down extremely easily to our Thunder. However, they all have immense kill pressure on us, and Thunder, given the not 100% accuracy, can really make us work for our money. One of the biggest threats we run into continually is the 3 Dragonite, because they don't go down to any of our moves and we don't possess any moves super effective, and typically an Outrage kills us. So after many attempts, I had to start theory crafting. While theory crafting, I remember the TM for Attract, and given Yami is a female, this is going to be the way we win this run. We need Attract Hacks. After dozens and dozens of more tries, we finally get the run we need with Attract and Confuse Ray Hacks. Opening against his Gyarados, we do the same strategy as always. We open with Thunder, which immediately one-shots it due to its 4 times weakness to Thunder. Next is Aerodactyl's here, and Aerodactyl thankfully gets hit by the Thunder and it doesn't miss. Aerodactyl goes down and we gain a level. I'm not sure how much this level plays in this win, but it definitely helps. However, we do miss our 3rd Thunder on Charizard. However, once it does hit on this next attempt, Charizard goes down, and next we're left with the Dragonite. However, we use Attract given Dragonite is a male, and he's immobilized by love. We set up a Confuse Ray as well, which is going to help us so much. However, our Thunder misses, but it's immobilized by love. See, this is what I had to theorize on continually, and we get very, very lucky and get paralysis as well. So not only is he confused, he's also attracted and paralyzed. There's almost no possible way he can hit us. However, he does break through all of that and hit a safeguard, but he uses a full restore. However, we Shadow Ball him again, and he's immobilized by love, thankfully, and the full restore is used again. He's using up all of his full restores during this run, which is really going to help us. That Shadow Ball lowered his special defense, thus leaving him able to be easily killed. Next, with the second Dragonite, we set up another Attract, and again he's immobilized by love, and we therefore use the same strategy with Confuse Ray. However, this Dragonite's level 49, so his hardest one's already out of the way, and thankfully we hit a Thunder. He's immobilized by love, leaving us with the easy ability to finish him off with Shadow Ball. Lastly, his third Dragonite comes out, and his third Dragonite, believe it or not, we're going to use the same exact strategy. We're getting so lucky in this run, and I wish I could show y'all all of the footage because I have dozens of hours recorded of us failing this run just because of us not getting enough RNG. And thankfully, here he is in red. He's already used his full restores. Oh no, he had one more full restore, and he gets hit to half health with a Shadow Ball, and we outspeed him for a second Shadow Ball, and he goes down, thus making us the champion. Guys, this run was pretty difficult at times. I really didn't think that I'd be walled by Steelix of all Pokemon, nor did I think that this final battle would pose nearly as much threat as it did. I really thought the hardest battle by far in this series would be the Elite Four member who has Dark-type Pokemon. However, it was Lance. I guess given that I don't have any super effective moves against Dragon-type Pokemon, it made it a whole lot more difficult. Here we see our lovely Misdreavus, Yami, put into the Hall of Fame, forever immortalized. Guys, I had a ton of fun making this video, so if you enjoyed this kind of content and want to see more challenge runs, please let me know in the comment section below.